We
Alrighty.
level up last time?
You were supposed to.
Yep.
I completely forgot. Hell yeah.
Welcome back. As nobody has leveled up. But we're definitely making it all adults here for sure with adult schedules. Sorry for the brief hiatus. Hopefully be fine, but we'll see how things go. So where we left off, as the weight of Arya's and Doran's messages began to sink in, Wolfrin's sorrow was quickly replaced with a cold but burning fury. Like a caged beast, his fists clenched tightly, the tension around everybody and thick. As Wolfrin's thoughts were spiraling into a singular focus on vengeance, Mavra, Victor, Riven, and Uzmir were forced to step in, surrounding him with words of reason and caution. Their voices insistent, imploring Wolfrin to calm himself and think more strategically. For a moment, Wolfrin's rage flickered, vengeance momentarily cooled by his comrades' words. But even as the others spoke, within the depths of Wolfrin's mind, a darker influence began to stir. The malevolent presence of the Dark Knight's Aegis and its whispers like oily tendrils coiling around his thoughts, seeking vengeance, wanting Wolfrin to seek out the punishment that he wanted oh so much, wanting him to give in and let the Aegis take the reins, promises of power and vengeance. Though Wolfrin, his breath hitching, his heart wanting to explode out of his chest, glancing among his companions, oblivious to any internal war waging within him, his desire for justice, no, not revenge, overrides his better judgment. Wolfrin, knowing he would be walking down a very dangerous path, the thought of letting the slayers, the murderers, the killers of his second family, the Black Wolves, walk free, unbearable. Accusing himself to a private chamber, make a deal with the Dark Knight's Aegis to grant Wolfrin power in exchange, for turning himself over after his revenge. Came full circle. And that, with that deal struck, shiver running through Wolfrin's body as the Aegis binds itself even tighter to him, the dark power seeping into his very being. Feels a piece of himself and just a bit more, knowing that he can't let anyone know. Not yet. The party's next steps become clear with the aid of Jack. You all need to reach the northern reaches of the Theocracy as fast as possible. Whispers of dark power echoing in Wolfrin's mind, urging him to move just as swiftly, to not waste time. As the group begins strategizing, realizing that traditional routes won't be quick enough for what you all need to do. But there are faster routes available to you, possibly. The idea of the possibility of teleportation, Victor's errant rumors that he's heard of a prototype airship being worked on within the college between two professors, Professors Sophina Windrider and Oren Vex, or quite possibly procuring wyverns from the wyvern Airy used by the guards here in El Macath. So, as you all press forward, in the background, Virion's movements, unbeknownst to you all, heading towards darker and darker machination. So, as you all lay down for a rest, some of you getting definitely more and better sleep than others, but you're all present within the Boar's Rest. As morning comes, what is it you would all like to do?
We've long rested, right? I just making sure.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Exactly.
Well, so I myself rewatched the last stream, and everybody gets a long rest. I need to clarify with Wolfriend, because when asked at the end of the session, does Wolfriend get any sleep? You told me you were gonna try, and that's where we ended. So did Wolfriend get any sleep?
I probably enough,
Okay.
but only barely.
Right. Oh, that's fine with me. So yeah, well, everyone gets a long rest. Jack managed to keep watch
Fuck.
for you all as agreed.
Oh, good guy, Jack.
I wouldn't call him a good guy, but he is Jack.
Were we 13 or 12 now? Because I don't remember if I leveled up or not.
Well, you're 13? Holy shit. I'm sitting here at 10.
I'm level 12.
You should be level 12.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
level 12.
so I did level up. All right. I just wanted to make sure that I filled things out before leaving last time.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to edit mine after this session. I'll be right.
Level 10.
I don't know if Mavra leveled up. Oh, those are evil one-shot. Not evil. Mavra. That is... Mavra's sheet is still level 7, so don't worry.
Level 7.
Yeah. I don't know what's up, because she has her barbarian stuff on. Maybe her but okay. So, speaking of, here's Mavra. She is feeling a little bit sicky. Might not exuberance from, but as
He's
this
radiating exuberance.
radiating exuberance, you can tell by her exuberant silence.
Yippee!
There you go. That's exactly what she always sounds like.
No difference.
So, as the sun rises over the Boar's Rest Tavern, you all begin to come to consciousness. All your belongings stolen, Jack gone.
Well,
3 of you wearing chastity belts with no key.
Oh god. Wait, which?
It's like band camp.
oh no.
Oh, I totally forgot. Sin, I will mail you the key to the chastity belt that you're wearing. I did not mean to take it with me.
Well, it's gotten comfy, so it's okay.
Well, it can't be. It's been a month.
You learn how to wash it.
All right. No, but you
That is
go.
the weirdest uncle-nephew relationship I've ever heard of.
That's not the weirdest I've ever heard of. We've done much weirder. So, as you all come to consciousness, what is your plan for today? You have a few avenues that were talked about, or how to get the theocracy with quickness. So, and Riven has to pick up a hat.
On the way.
Well-
yes.
Better make it quick.
I'm
Well,
going
I'm
to accompany Riven to get his hop.
I will be preparing my potions for the day.
Yeah, at this point, Riven does not know about any sort of like way to get teleport thingy, so he just wants his hat, and he will just go with the group.
Mm.
Well, yeah, he's just gonna wake up and then just see what everyone else is at the moment before he does anything.
I'm gonna go make breakfast.
What a beautiful, beautiful sleep. I really needed to after game with the shit beat out of me.
Is Ripon still have a state of exhaustion?
No. Tonight would have been
No.
the last level of exhaustion.
Luckily me. Alright, so seems like we're all here, maybe. Unless Wolfram's gone, then that would be very, very tragic.
You just see him on the other end of the bar.
So he's not gone. That's great. Hello, Wolfred. And he just like waves.
He is not paying attention.
Well, I tried my best. So, what were you saying, Victor, about our way to get, you know, where we need to
What?
go?
Oh, you mean what we were talking about last night?
Yes, exactly what we talked about last night. Well, one of the
Victor
main
looks up
things.
from his potions for a moment. Well, you see, we can try our best to go to the school and see about this rumor that the students have been passing around about this airship that some of the professors have been working on. As I doubt we'd be able to get anywhere closer by means of teleportation. But that's about the only lead I have at the moment, unless you guys are going to be following me to find some wyverns. And I don't think that's the biggest problem we have to deal with at the moment.
I really don't want to go wyvern hunting at the moment. That doesn't seem to be high on the list, on my list of things to do. Especially after nearly dying twice. So
No, you'd be
what was-
fine. I think the wyverns would innately avoid you with, the smell and all. I don't think you're very appealing to their sensible taste.
I should have seen that coming, but I've been doing very well. I've at least bathed at least twice. Oh, well, probably once every 2 days or something, but I'm getting there.
Well, if we're going to the school for the airship, the likelihood of us finding it is fine, but I'm sure somebody there is fine to also know about teleportation magic if we absolutely need to go that route as well. So, regardless, the school is probably our best bet.
Yeah. And that's why I'm preparing something to hopefully help us convince the teachers a bit better.
So your teachers are not going to reject us because we look a bit like adventurers.
That's what the potion's for. I'm trying my best to see if I can make something to, I don't know. We'll see what we can do, Riven. But be on your best behavior. These are sophisticated people. They're not exactly going to be the most willing to overlook any of your rudeness.
Oh, please, I'm always on my best behavior.
He's going to kind of turn to Uzmir. Please tell me that was a joke.
That he's going to be on his best behavior?
No, that he's always on his best behavior, because what I've seen so far has left me concerned.
Oh, no, that is his best behavior.
See? Usmer knows me.
Avra arrives with bounty.
Well, food it is. Thank you, Mavro.
You're welcome.
Right. Well, if you all are going to be heading to college to investigate the rumors of an airship, I guess I will put my focus on seeing if there's any sort of teleportation circles. Might not be well known. Either way, I will try to aid in finding you all an expedited method of travel. Just don't let that one out of your sights. Kind of nods over the wall.
Well, it's not that hard to find him. He is quite tall, and you can easily spot him in a crowd.
I'm sure if he wanted to get away from you, Riven, it wouldn't be too difficult. For you specifically.
Oh, don't worry. I got the little taunt.
Or you do. Is there anything else I can help you all with before I take my leave?
I think we're good. As he just takes a bite of the breakfast while he's talking.
Right, well, you all know how to reach me. As Jack takes. So, as you all eat breakfast, what are you trying to achieve with these potions, Victor?
I sent you my potions I prepared for the day. That's all I was alluding to.
Oh, okay, 10-4. Got it. So, you all eat breakfast, maybe have a drink. What is the plan?
So, do I know what the Academy's policy for bringing outsiders is?
They'll have to go to the, basically like the main foyer of the school and get visitor passes. And then be accompanied by, either one of the aides there or a member of faculty.
Roger. All right. Well, we better get on the way. Life at school starts early.
Well, I kind of do want my hat before we do go to the school, though.
Well, go ahead. I still have some time to finish up on these potions.
We can pick it up on the way. It'd be fastest.
Victor just kind of shrug, pick up his stuff, and start walking with them.
Yes, of course you want to go fast. Yeah, well, friend, why do you? Of course you want to go fast. All right, let's pick it up on the way.
Time is of the essence.
I know.
Let's go.
Can't even enjoy breakfast.
So, as you all pack your things and start heading towards the academy, it's about a to 30-ish minute walk. Pretty early in the morning, so the streets are definitely bustling, but they're not like overwhelming. So on the way to the college, you guys pass by the magic shop where not Wolfram Riven had his hat being enchanted. There you are. Hat.
And Riven gets 5 inspiration points just for having the hat. Kidding.
So, nestled within the very large city of Elmacath, almost on a plateau overlooking the city, the Aether Academy, this beacon of arcane learning and mastery. As you all begin to approach, the first thing that strikes you are the towering spires that pierce the sky, their tips glowing faintly with ever-shifting hues of blue, purple, and silver. Colors that represent the raw, untamed essence of Aether itself. The Academy, this grand complex of architectural marvel, of both ancient tradition and modern innovation, the main building, the Hall of Resonance, this colossal structure made of smooth white marble interlaced with veins of glowing aether, its walls inscribed with runes and sigils humming softly with arcane energy, regulating the flow of aether through the campus. AI art. Okay.
What would that dude's legs? Why is that bitch standing in the fountain?
She's standing in the fountain because she's hot and she's trying to cool down. Alright. Around the Hall of Resonance, smaller buildings form a circular layout connected by cobblestone pathways that are etched with symbols. The buildings house the specialized schools of study, each dedicated to a different branch of magic. The central courtyard itself is where you guys first arrive, filled with flowers and a fountain, globes of soft light that dance through the air, and the main entrance, the Hall of Resonance. So, you guys do get quite a few stairs. Not you, Victor, as much as your compatriots. From the students and faculty members that are moving through the main courtyard as you all enter into the Hall of Resonance. is this large, opulent, open area where you guys first enter into. There are a few different counters with branching hallways and stuff as well, and a few massive doors that dot the walls. And at these counters, you see faculty members who are currently sitting, writing. A couple people are talking, and you hear like just errant conversation about classroom schedules and the like. But as you all approach one of the main counters following Victor's lead, this kind of like middle-aged half-elf man, tousled hair, like chin strap beard and a slight mustache, wearing these rounded frames for glasses. Right, well, this is an interesting group that we have here today.
Do I know the name of the person that said this?
Yes, this is James Wembley.
James Wembley. Let's see. Do I know who that is?
He's probably not in your notes. James Wembley
Okay.
is basically the manager of like the main area here. Like, he handles all of the front desk activities for, you know, guided tours and getting students their schedules and tuition fees and all of that stuff.
Got it. And then what's his general demeanor? Like, I'm sure I know this.
He can be a bit pompous, but for the most part, he like stays friendly. He has to make sure that he stays on people's good side. He deals with a lot of rich kids and their families, so he tends to stay a bit more reserved than most, just to ensure that he doesn't anger the wrong person.
All right. You said Mr. Wembley, right?
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Wembley. It's nice to see a friendly face so early in the morning.
I would most of the time tend to agree with you, Mr. Braun, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right, at present I am a bit confused at the company you have decided to bring into our esteemed establishment here. What, may I ask, is your reason for being here this morning?
Miss Wembley, as you know, I'm currently undertaking my graduation examinations with the quest from the Adventures Guild. These are the adventurers party that I partied up with to absolve the case.
Right. There appear to be quite a rough and tumble looking group. I want to ensure you're not falling in with the wrong crowd, young Master Braun.
At this point, I will take out my Adventures Guild. What's the word?
What?
Badge, I guess. Something.
Yeah, the Adventure
Something
Guild
that denotes my
provides-
rank.
Yeah, they provide like
Yeah.
small metallic plaques that normally can be worn as like bracelets or necklaces, or however
Yeah,
you want to adorn it.
I couldn't remember. Was it a badge or what was it?
Yeah,
But no, I will take it out and say, rough and tumble we may be, but most of the Adventurers Guild are. Wolf and Grey. Gold tier adventurer. At your service.
Right, of course. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Gray. I am James Wembley, campus manager. I just want to ensure that there's not going to be any trouble on the school grounds. We are currently, responsible for the safe well-being of a very large number of students here. So whatever we can do to just ensure we don't cause any trouble, I would be greatly appreciated. But by all means, what is your reasoning for being here? Have you finished your examination and they've come to bear witness to your graduation, Mr. Brunn? Or what exactly are we looking at here this morning?
Actually, we have to see if Professor Vex or perhaps Professor Windfall is available. We have come across something in this quest that we could use their more specialized expertise on.
Well, I do believe Miss Professor Sylphina Windrider is currently in the middle of her morning lectures. But for sure, Mr. Oren Vex is probably in his workshop. And I mean, as you know, that would be over near the... Oh, where is my map of this? Right, the Etheric Nexus building. So if these fine ladies and gentlemen are going to be accompanying you, I will need to have some visitor paperwork filled out beforehand, and then I can definitely procure a member of our team here to escort you all, if that won't be a problem.
Oh, yes, no, that'll be fine. I will be sure to have them fill it out in the proper way.
Right, well, and he just pulls out 4 forms for you guys to sign that basically go over like any damage to the property incurred by your presence here, you are completely liable for. Any harm that comes to the individuals who are on campus, both student, faculty, or visitors, like any harm that comes to them due to your actions and stuff, you'll be held liable. And it just goes over, it's basically liability clauses for, like, you know, if any harm comes to you, the school will not be held liable, that kind of stuff. And they just require your name and your signature, as well as the date of your arrival here and your anticipated leave of the campus. Right, if you could just please fill out these forms, and then I will get you your visitor passes. And as it turns out, I don't currently have a member of my team who is free, so I, of course, will gladly accompany you all. Please, just let's keep this as safe and uneventful as possible, if we can, Mr. Braun and company.
I'm gonna nod and grab the papers and start to pass them out to everyone. Giving an extra long one at Riven. You do know how to write, right?
Yes, I do know how to write. How hard can it be?
Right. So,
Yep.
as you all fill out this paperwork, is there any deception going on in you filling out this paperwork? Are you putting your actual information? Like, how are you guys doing this real quick?
Putting my actual information.
Hey. Uzmir? I know you only have one. Uzmir's like Prince, the renowned bard. He only has one name.
Wait, there's an important question I forgot to ask. What does Riven look like currently?
He didn't say he'd put on his disguise, so he looks like Riven.
Yep, he looks like Riven.
Nobody has seemed to take a second glance at him at this point in time, but yeah, he is just like his bounty poster that is posted throughout the city, looking like himself.
I mean, Wolfram told him to hurry, so.
Oh, Jesus.
So, as you all fill out the paperwork and return it to Mr. Wimbley, he files it away, and at that point he hands out these small wooden kind of like slats, almost like a hall pass, that just mark you as a visitor. Please tie these either to your waistband, or just ensure that it's visible for all faculty and students to be aware that you're visiting the site. That, you know, tells our students to give you all some space, as we don't want them to be getting in the way of any tour activities that will be happening. And yeah, so let's just ensure that we are giving the students a wide berth, as they should be giving us as well. Any questions before we head to the Etheric Nexus chamber? Alrighty then.
Yawn. As Riven just yawns.
Understood. So, looking at your information here, that all seems in order. I have Mrs. Movra, Mr. Uzmir, Mr. Wolfriend Grey, Mr. Riven Alevalure, and of course our wonderful student, Mr. Victor Braun. So, please follow me. We will head out the main doors here to our left and head across the courtyard, heading due east, all the way to the Etheric Nexus Chamber, as he begins ushering you all towards the exterior of the Hall of Resonance. As you guys exit the building, his arms, Wembley's arms, kind of go wide. As you can see, our esteemed campus, the wonderful gardens in the main courtyard, as well as our expertly crafted and built fountain, have been standing and growing here for over a century at this point. And I have to say, it's one of the biggest draws. I mean, we'll see students sitting about doing their studies, and it's just a peaceful environment in here to the east. As we head down, you can see the Etheric Nexus Chamber is down towards the east here, down that hill. We like to keep it a bit separated from the rest of the campus, as that is our professor's workshop, where they often test dangerous magics, as well as etheric devices that we don't want affecting the main campus grounds. So, as we can please make our way here, Mr. Riven, please this way, quit staring at the fountain. It'll be here on your way out.
All right. I saw a nice little coin over there.
Right, yeah, many a student will toss coins into the fountain, wishing for good luck on exams, as well as good fortune. But please do not act as a ruffian and start digging coins out of the fountain. That is seen in poor taste. So, as you all... Oh, go ahead.
But there's quite a lot of coins there. It's gonna go to waste anyway.
I assure you, we regularly clean out the fountain, and those funds go back into student housing as well as recreational activities for the students here on campus. So please do not thieve from our school, or else we will have to have you removed from the premises, and I would much prefer that we do not have to do that. So, as you all
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wimley. He's just a jokester. He's kidding, and Victor's gonna shoot him like the biggest look.
Oh, I was joking. Oh yes, I was joking.
Roll a deception check. You can roll with advantage. Either you
Can
both
I roll
can
it?
roll. So either one of you can, both of you can roll singularly, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Can I roll with advantage? For the love of God, I don't trust his.
I mean, look,
Let's have you both roll separately.
yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Well, mine didn't even go. See? If you just let me roll with advantage, motherfucker.
That's a 10 for Mr.
Oh,
Braun,
he got it. Never mind.
and a 25 for Mr. Alevalure. Right, of course, just a jokester. While I do appreciate comedy in and of itself, maybe this is not a matter to be jesting about, but I do appreciate your attempt at comedic timing. Right, so if I could just have you all continue to follow me this way, and Wembley is very like, his arms are moving, he's motioning towards things that he's talking about, like he's given quite a few tours. And as you guys go down this very nice stone pathway basically down, you see the Etheric Nexus Chamber, this fairly large outbuilding with a few warehouses almost scattered around it. And as you guys approach, it is a large building in and of itself, but it's definitely not as large as like the Hall of Resonance or some of the other spired tower like buildings. and you guys come to these two large doors where Wembley pulls one open, and you guys enter into the etheric nexus chamber, which is just immediately this large round chamber. You see 6 sets of doors that go off in different directions on this rounded wall. And they have placards with names of professors. You see Sylphina Windrider's name and Professor Oren Vex and a few other errant ones. Right, so if we please have this direction, as he ushers you all in and shuts the door behind you. Right, this is our esteemed Etheric Nexus chamber where our tenured professors tend to do most of their research. So if you would please make your way over to the furthest right doorway here. This is the chambers of Professor Oren Vex, renowned for his intricate Aether-infused mechanical invention. He is our lead engineering figure on site, focusing most of his teachings and research on the practical application of etheric energies and the etheric crystals as well. So, of course, Mr. Braun, you are very familiar with his teachings. I believe you have taken a few of his lectures. So, let's just give his door a good old knock and see if he is here. As I said, he should be, but you know how these professors can be. When they have magic on the mind, they can be a bit rambunctious and scattered-brained.
So is he walking towards the door at the moment?
Yes, he is.
So are we like behind his back?
Yeah, at this moment his back is turned from you guys.
I would like to take a second to like grab my elixir guildness and drink it.
Okay.
And then just putting the vial back.
Yep, so you have advantage on all charisma-based checks. And then I need you to roll... can you roll a d4 for me?
Yes, give me one moment.
Or dang, maxing out. So you have advantage on all charisma-based checks for the next 4 hours.
All right.
So as Mr. Wembley knocks on the large double doors labeled Oren Vex, you hear from inside, Right, just a minute. Just give me a second. I gotta finish this up. And then you hear a slight explosion. Before there is clattering of metal and chains, and you hear locks and latches moving as the doors just open, and you see a man, a Weskel man, very tall, slender, brown hair that is now blackened with soot and kind of going in every direction, and you see his face is covered in soot as well. His eyebrows freshly seared off. Right, that's quite the inappropriate time for an interruption, but what can I help you with, Mr. Wembley? Oh, well, if it isn't Mr. Braun, what do I owe the visit today from you and, oh, well, these stylish individuals that you bring before me?
Ah, sir. Professor, we'd like to talk to you. There's something about the quest that I was sent on that we could use your keen specialty in giving us advice about.
You need advice on finding missing wyverns from yours truly. I don't know what I could offer in this quest of yours, but I am interested to hear it, of course. Please, come in. As he begins ushering you all in.
Rivet just walks past Victor's like, so everyone knows about your quest for the missing wyverns, huh?
The big deal, Riven. I don't think you understand how many people this is affecting.
I I'd rather not get the lecture of how the wyverns are the basis of all the world.
Just get inside, Riven.
Riven just snickers and just follows after the group.
So, Victor, as you know, Professor Oren Vex is a man of sharp features and even sharper intellect, standing at about 6'2". He is very wiry frame. Often you've seen him hunched over blueprints or a desk or giving a lecture and tinkering with his devices. He's got kind of a tanned ashen skin tone, very characteristic of the Wescal people, but he has such an affinity for intricate crafts and technological innovations that is well known across Nadira. His eyes are this piercing luminous green that seem to glow faintly with almost an etheric energy, and his hair, like I said, a dark brown, though now just blown back by whatever explosion happened before you all entered the chamber. His attire, this blend of academic regalia and almost like utility gear, a tool belt with very intricate instruments scattered throughout it. His coat, its edges are lined with small glowing filaments that pulse with energy, an innovation of his own making, that Victor, you know, because he's given a lecture, probably a 4 or 5 hour lecture of how he made it, but the code itself actually amplifies his spells and his etheric engineering as he wears it. And then he has these large, kind of bulbous blue lensed goggles, and he claims they allow him to see the flow of Aether as clear as day. But his mechanical prowess is legendary within the Academy, as he is the head of the Etheric Engineering Department. He oversees a myriad of projects that range from Aether-powered automatons and smaller flying constructs, and as well as he is a large part of the city's interior infrastructure, the street lamps with their etheric stone lamps, and the running water throughout the city. But despite his eccentricities, Professor Vex is a brilliant and very approachable instructor. He teaches philosophy, emphasizing the practical applications of etheric energy and how magic and mechanics can merge to improve daily life, fortify defenses, or even revolutionize transportation. He often is seen encouraging his students, such as you, to push the boundaries and think outside the traditional constraints, reminding that even failure can be a step forward, provided that you don't blow up the workshop, as he always says. But beneath his very kind of easygoing demeanor and enthusiasm for his craft, there's just this relentless curiosity that you've seen from him. One might say bordering on obsession. And rumors have been swirling among the students that Vex has delved into somewhat forbidden areas of knowledge, and that some of his greatest inventions are powered by dangerously unstable sources of Aether. And whether those hold any truth remains a mystery to most people on campus, but one thing is certain, Professor Vex's creations are as unpredictable and wondrous as the man himself. And so, as you're all ushered into his research chambers, as you step in to the chambers itself, you're immediately struck by a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and scents. An overwhelming yet strangely harmonious blend of arcane energy and intricate machinery. The room is a sprawling workshop, larger than any laboratory you've been allowed into on campus, Victor. With walls that extend high up to a domed ceiling. Suspended from that ceiling are moving clockwork mechanisms, gears interlocking with rhythmic precision as they hum and clatter above. casting flickering shadows across you all and the entire chamber. And there's this sharp tang of ozone mixed with the faint scent of oil and burning aether. The glow of various magical aether crystals and arcane runes illuminate the space, casting the room in a cool blue and purple light. However, other parts of the chamber are lit by sudden bursts of bright sparks or the warm glow of forge-like contraptions. Tables and workbenches of varying heights are scattered throughout, each one cluttered with tools and components and half-finished projects. Blueprints and schematics are pinned haphazardly to walls, some of them almost moving as if they're alive. Diagrams shifting, rotating, and redrawing themselves with every stroke of Vex's hand movements. And there are pieces of automatons, things that some of you have never seen before. Various stages of assembly, metallic limbs twitching with stored energy, a head with glowing eyes blinking sporadically, and clockwork hearts pulsing with a steady mechanical rhythm. The centerpiece of this chamber, this massive central workbench dominated by a large etheric engine, a crystalline core encased in intricate metal framework, and it pulses with this vibrant swirling light that dances between colors, sometimes a deep sapphire blue, sometimes a molten goldish color. Tubes and conduits snake from the engine, connecting to smaller devices and experiments scattered around the room. This is clearly the heart of his latest project, though its purpose remains unclear amid this somewhat controlled chaos. To one side of the room, a section dedicated entirely to aether-infused prototypes, some mundane lanterns that need no flame or perpetual motion devices that defy logic. Others are far more complex and potentially dangerous. There are small flying drones that above overhead, spinning in irregular circles as if it's testing its thrusters and flying ability. And on a nearby table, an armored gauntlet occasionally crackles with energy before sputtering out a small puff of smoke. And towards the back of the chamber, behind a reinforced barrier of transparent crystal, lies what has been labeled above the door as a hazardous area, where Vex would be conducting his most volatile of experimentation. You see scorch marks and shattered fragments of metal around the doorway, but you can't see much further into the room. And for the keen-eyed of you, this doorway would lead into one of the errant warehouses that you saw from the exterior. So, every corner of this research chamber feels alive with machinery and magic. Constant state of evolution, mirroring the frenetic energy of the professor who works here. As you all enter in, he kind of pulls you over to a small seating area and says, well, welcome. First of all, it's not often I give visitors to my research chambers, but I'm gladly help answer any questions Mr. Braun and your companions have. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Professor Oren Vex. I am the head of the Aether Engineering Department here at the Cinderspire Academy. So, how may I be of service?
So the first thing Victor's gonna do is reach into his bag and pull out some very familiar papers to himself that he had written, if not the night before. On the papers, it's going to be the designs to something that he only heard of very briefly from Jack. It's the designs for the device that uses Aether to harden fabrics or soft metals to increase their defensive properties. It's nothing more than a proof of concept or maybe even the very early stages of a prototype, but he's going to use it to hand over to the professor and then begin to speak. Well, you see, Professor, we've encountered some more than, I'd say, there was a bit more than I thought I would have to handle on this quest. Be there errant gangs or a darker force in the background. As you can see with the papers I hand you, there's things I haven't ever seen before in school. And it seems that this quest may even take us outside of the purview of the city. I've heard not but rumors, and we're currently trying to find a way to travel up to the Theocracy with haste. And I remember hearing rumors, albeit just from the students, of you and Professor what was it?
Windrider.
Windrider possibly creating a sort of flying airship. I was coming to see if there's any way of this manner of machination existing, and if so, there's any way of there's any possibility of being able to use it.
At this point, Wembley actually speaks up. I will say that maybe we shouldn't pay heed to rumors that we're unsure if they're true, Mr. Brun. You're obviously impeding on this man's research, and he's very busy, all in the sake of rumors for wanting to go to the Theocracy, a place where no students of ours should end up, regardless. And you see Professor Vex has kind of hand to his chin, seems deep in thought. Right, so, Mr. Braun, you come to me with thoughts of aid, and as much as I appreciate the extent of which the students here, as well as you, may think my expertise goes, I mean, the idea of a flying vessel that could get you to the Theocracy in any sort of expedited sense is a mere fiction.
I'd like to what is he? Does it look like he's telling the truth?
Roll an insight check.
Can I roll this as well?
Yeah.
Wisdom's not my best. Oof. We are not fucking good at insight.
Fine.
I have a +5.
Looking at this man, he is most certainly not telling the truth, because he rolled a natural 1. He is sweating
nice.
buckets as he says these words that he just told you.
Please, I beg of you. It is of the utmost importance that we get to the Theocracy as soon as possible. There's great danger that has spread through all corners of Nadira, the heart of which lies in the Theocracy. We mean to take it out at its source. Please.
As much as I value that the Theocracy is indeed a danger, the idea of a device like that being built unknowingly within the campus here would be a distinct wrongdoing against the campus faculty as well as the dean, Mr. Bartholomew Cinder. Mr. Wembley, if you could, please, could you go and get somebody to bring us some tea? This might be a long conversation. I can watch over our visitors here for the moment. And Wembley seems like taken aback for a moment. Goes, I could send for someone else to bring some here. No, Mr. Wembley, please go be on your way. We'll be awaiting you. But the talks here aren't going to go much further without some refreshments, of course. I believe we can all agree on that, can't we?
Yes, exactly. Those plans I gave you, I think we'll be here for a while, with you having to give me insight on that as well.
Oh, Wembley cautiously kind of looks across you guys and begins moving towards the doors before he pulls them open again and exits. Before he closes the door, he's like, I'll be back momentarily. Please be on your best behavior. And the door slams shut. Right, so you need to get to the theocracy, you say?
We
That
do.
is correct.
If I did have access to a, I might add, completely prototype device, such as an airship, I could not promise that it would function as intended fully, though hypothetical tests have been very promising indeed.
Well, Professor, being an Aether engineer myself, I know there's always a shortage of willing, might I say, guinea pigs. This would be an opportunity for a long venture to test such a hypothetical machine. Data, I'm sure you would be nonetheless very helpful in your endeavor of trying to create this amazing machine.
That I have no doubt of, but my main concern would be how we ensure this device, upon entry into the airspace of the theocracy, does not fall into theocratic hands. As much as I do agree that it would be quite a magnanimous occasion to be able to actually pilot this vessel, it would definitely be very, very bad if it fell into the hands of the theocracy.
Out of character, what are the amount of like etheric and explosives that we would know how to create, or like would there be anything like a big etheric bomb we could make?
I mean, there are devices that like etheric devices that make use of enchantments and toolings that would create explosions and the sort. You also have seen yourself, I mean, just before the door opened, and you can see the remnants of a small etheric crux and etheric engine that have exploded, leaving Professor Vex in his current state. So yeah, there are devices and ways of causing etheric technology to explode.
Professor, would it not theoretically be possible to feed the Aether back into the engine, causing it to motorize and explode in a certain way?
You could, but then I'd lose everything that I built up to this point. Let's just say, hopefully, if this vessel existed, and I could possibly be persuaded to see it fly, first of all, I would have to consult with Professor Wendrider, as it is a joint project, hypothetically. But please follow me as he gets up and begins walking towards the back area where you see the barrier of transparent aether crystal.
As we're walking, I'm going to continue talking to the professor. Professor, you remember my last name, correct?
Right, your last name is Braun.
Does that bring anything to mind?
Well, you're a rather skinny lad, so I don't think you're trying to reference brawn as in brawniness of the capability of protecting and or fighting. Oh, it seems you do have a companion who is quite brawny in and of himself.
Yes, Professor. What I'm alluding to is, you know of the Braun Trading Company. Hypothetically, if this machine existed, it could change the dynamic of trade routes across the globe. I'm sure we can be persuaded to fund your endeavors going forward if this hypothetical machine does exist. Because my grandmother wouldn't want to miss out on such a venture to write history alongside. I could almost assure you, sir.
Oh. See. Right. Well, as much as I appreciate your bribery, let's say I am more keen to let you test out the vessel than not. Like I said, I just have to get Professor Windrider on board, but you know, Professor Windrider is quite hard-headed, or can be, especially when it comes to endangering her students, in which you are one of them, whether you're on the crux of graduation or not. And as you guys approach the crystalline barrier, you see him raise his hand as he chants a few words as the barrier begins to flicker. Behind this crystal barrier in Professor Vex's chamber, you see this massive adjoining warehouse, an expansive hangar designed to house this single grand creation. And you see on its side branded the Zephyr's Call. As you approach, the barrier shimmering and breaking down, allowing only those authorized by Professor Vex to pass through. The moment you step inside, you're overwhelmed by the sheer scale and majesty of this vessel. The Zephyr's Call is a sleek, elegantly crafted flying ship, nearly 100 feet in length, suspended a few feet off the ground by large, softly humming aether crystals, probably 10 feet in diameter, embedded in the hull of the vessel itself. Its design is awe-inspiring, an awe-inspiring marriage of engineering precision and arcane artistry, a true statement to the combined genius of Professor Vex and Windrider. The whole is composed of a silvery, almost mirror-like metal banding infused with these dark oaken boards, and blue aether etchings trace through the metal banding. Etched into the ship's sleek exterior, you see those flowing runic patterns that resemble almost swirling winds, constantly shifting in response to the ambient magical energies. They pulse rhythmically, channeling aether throughout the ship's entirety. The bow of the Zephyr's Call is shaped like an elongated blade, giving the vessel a sharp cutting profile designed to slice through both wind and magical currents with minimal resistance. Along the sides of the ship, curved wings extend outward with retractable sails made from enchanted silk that ripples with faint ethereal light. The sails are reinforced with a lattice of thin metal filaments that can channel etheric energy for additional speed and maneuverability. The 4 large aether crystals mounted within the hull, 2 along the sides near the stern and 2 beneath the keel at the bow. These crystals emit a soft azure glow, each one swirling with condensed aether that powers the ship's levitation and propulsion. The crystals are encased in protective housing covered with Vex's signature arcane glyphs, ensuring that the delicate energies remain stable even in the most turbulent skies. Right. Well, this is the Zephyr's Call. What do you think of Her Majesty? I mean, this is years in the making, and the fact that we even got it to hover this far off the ground was I mean, an outstanding moment in our research. So, what do you all make of this vessel?
It is an impressive piece of artifice. I've not seen anything quite like it.
Right. No one has, and that's the point, right? I foresee a time where we cut travel across the world down significantly, trade and food taken to areas where it's needed the most. And not only that, but a sky filled with these ships, changing the very essence of the world we live in.
But how does it work?
Yeah, well, go boom.
Well, if you all please accompany me as he walks over to this rope ladder that has been extended down off the deck of the ship, reaching down to the ground, and he begins climbing up.
I'll follow him.
Yeah, might as well.
As you all climb atop the ship, you kind of land down on the stern, and kind of waves his arms and says, "This is the control deck. It's located towards the stern of the ship, shielded by this curved canopy of transparent crystal, offering almost a panoramic view of the skies. A polished circular console adorned with engraved runes dominates the center, surrounded by a ring of glowing touchpads, levers, and dials, all designed to control the ship's flight, adjust its sails, and channel its etheric energy into its propulsion systems. At the heart of this console lies an intricately designed Aether core," as he points down towards it. "This device, crafted by both me and Professor Windrider, serves as the ship's central control mechanism, like its central nervous system almost. It allows you to steer and pilot the vessel with very intuitive hand movements and mental focus. And its interface is responsive, designed to sync with the pilot himself, allowing for nearly instantaneous adjustment to speed and altitude and direction."
Can I touch it?
I mean, you can. Currently, it's keyed into to my Aether signature, so you can touch it, but nothing would happen.
Interesting.
Right. So if you follow me, and he like starts heading out onto the open deck where there's a set of stairs that go down below. The Zephyrs. Go
While
ahead.
his back's turned, I'm totally gonna touch it.
Yeah, you touch it. There's the runes around this disc kind of alight as your hand runs across them, but there's no change in the ship's altitude or bearing or anything like that. But it definitely does respond to your touch. You can almost feel it tug on your Aether. Right, if you follow me in here, below deck, the Zephyr's Call is equipped with elegantly furnished living quarters, spacious enough to accommodate a small crew. Though, as you can see, the woodwork on the interior is smooth, dark, and polished. Decorative accents in silver and sapphire that was not my call, was more Sylphina Windrider's refined aesthetic and work. You can see our arcane lanterns, very much like the lanterns. You definitely can try. The lanterns themselves very much like the street lamps that we have erected throughout El Makath. The quarters include sleeping chambers, a mess hall, and a lounge where travelers can relax and enjoy the stunning views from these large windows that can turn transparent or opaque at will. If you follow me below deck, still down towards the stern, and he pushes open a doorway. This is the engine room. So, this room itself, you can see, is almost a workshop in and of itself. You see a few benches as well as some specialized tools and spare components, but you hear the hum of arcane energy just ever pulsing throughout conduits and pipes that channel raw aether into the ship itself. You see this secondary control panel that allows for manual adjustments and emergency repairs, and the space is very cluttered yet meticulously organized with racks of spare parts and prototype gadgets hanging from the walls. And then he just turns around and says, "This is the living embodiment of my ambition and creativity, the seamless fusion of artifice and magic. This ship is destined to soar beyond the limits of what was thought possible, and I think I'm ready to carve its name into the skies." Do you stay, or did you stay behind, Uzmir?
Yeah,
Okay, what are you doing to this control console?
I'm just gonna let it pull some aether.
Yeah, you can feel it pulling your aether from your body, and like not in like vast amounts, but it's definitely draining you. Like I said, not significantly, but enough for you to notice. And you see as it pulls your aether, the runic rings around the control console alight and kind of swirl and pulse with energy. Still seeming not to have too much effect on the bearing of the ship or anything. Try anything else?
I don't know what else to try.
Try something weird if you want.
Not right now.
All right now. All right. So as Vex turns around, so this is the beauty known as the Zephyr's Call. What do you all think of her majesty, of her creation? I mean, the thought put into her, and the things she'll change go far and wide beyond what I ever thought was capable.
Just hoping it doesn't go boom.
Well, that is the goal, right? That we don't explode her upon, a certain altitude or whatever the case.
When would we be able to test it or take it to
Well,
sorry, brain. When would we be able to test it and take it to Theocracy, Professor?
you can't fly her out in the middle of the day. It'd be too noticeable. And with just me, I don't have the arcane capabilities that Professor Windrider has. I mean, we've, taken it out for short tests and whatnot, but Windrider's able to cloak the machine itself to make sure that the normal populace doesn't, catch airs about what's actually going on. So we could feasibly, I could have her up and running maybe tonight around midnight. Most of the students should be in their rooms. That's fairly far after curfew. So, and I mean, we're in the dead of night's probably the best bet. We're gonna draw the least amount of attention, and that gives me time to get Professor Windrider on board. But if you all could meet me here, say 11:30 or midnight tonight, hopefully we can get her up and running. I can fly you out to the Theocracy. I'd probably be a 3 to 4 day journey, depending on where you're wanting to go. But that ensures that I can, maintain control and ownership of the vessel. And once I drop you off in the Theocracy, sadly you'll be on your own, because I'll have to bring the Zephyr back.
What do you think, Wolfriend, since you're the one in a hurry?
3 days. It's the best, if it's the best we can do.
It's the best that the Zephyr can do, I can tell you that. I don't know much other choices that you would have for getting there faster, unless you have access to a teleportation circle within the Theocracy.
No, my thoughts exactly.
So we have an accord then. You'll return here around midnight and we'll get you on your way. But I fully expect the backing I was promised from the Braun family.
I will speak to my grandmother tonight, or before tonight.
And as I see it, we have an accord. Oh, please gather your things, whatever you'll need for your journey, because once I drop you off, once we hit the skies, there's no going back. And once I drop you off, you're on your own. So whatever you need in the barren waste of the Theocracy, I would definitely ensure that you bring with you. Any questions or concerns?
None from me, Professor.
Right. And final word of wisdom. Do not speak of this to anyone. Definitely not that Wembley fellow. I mean, he answers directly to Mr. Cinders, and the last person I want knowing about this is Cinders. Made it very clear not to, intrude upon the skies. Very adamant about that. Says that domain is not meant for us mortals. Which, coming to think of it, saying that domain is not meant for you mortals is strange coming from any person, but regardless, he is a very intimidating man, and I would prefer not to be on his bad side.
We're very good at keeping secrets.
I don't believe that for a second, but my best idea is maybe I set you all in the theocracy, and there's a 60% chance you don't make it back, so please definitely don't tell anyone here, but don't let anyone in the theocracy know of this machine, or else it will be a war. I can almost guarantee it. Once a country takes the skies, there's really no going back. And I do not mean for these to be weapons of war, nor do I want to see my creation twisted in that method.
All right. We won't say a word.
Right. Well, then I'll let you all be on your way, and I will see you later tonight. So as you're all ushered out of the warehouse and through his chamber, you see him close up the crystalline barrier, and just as he turns around and you all are reaching towards the doorway, the door opens again and you see Mr. Wimbley with some tea and other refreshments. Oh, are you leaving already?
Hey, do you expect us to be sitting here talking for like an hour?
I was told that this conversation would be lasting a while. That's why I needed to go get refreshments. Well, okay. Right, Mr. Wimbley, please see these fine fellows out. I believe we have discussed all we need to for the time being, but I greatly appreciate your hospitality, and I will take those refreshments off your hand for myself. Please do not let the door hit you on the way out. And please don't bother me for the next few hours. I will be experimenting, and I don't want you to get caught up in it. It was a pleasure meeting you all, and always a pleasure, Mr. Braun. And I'm sure I will see you all in the nearby future. As you all are ushered out, Mr. Wimbley escorts you all back to the main courtyard. Is there anywhere else that you would like to see on the campus, or is this the conclusion of your tour here, Mr. Braun?
That should be all. Thank you for all your help.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you all not destroying anything. Not that well-known adventurers would, but there's always the risk. So, I will take your visitor passes, please. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. If you ever need our aid here at the college again, please don't hesitate to stop by. Maybe next time, not so unannounced, Mr. Braun. Remember, tours should be scheduled at least 3 days in advance so we can ensure we have the proper staff on site to facilitate it.
Yes, thank you once again for our unscheduled tour.
Yes, I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor and hopefully your soon-to-be graduation. But until then, have a very nice rest of your morning, day, and evening, and I am sure we will all become acquainted once again in the future. He kind of turns with the passes and begins heading towards the doors of the Hall of Resonance. So you're all left to your own devices. What all do you need to gather before coming back to Professor Oren at the end of the day?
That is a very good question.
I'd like to get some kind of armor, please.
What kind of armor are you proficient in?
I don't think I am.
Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna cry.
There is a magic store. Go visit.
Oh, never mind. I'm proficient up to medium.
Okay, cool. Are you wanting magical armor, or are you just wanting some like studded leather? Like, what are you wanting?
I'll probably get some like magic armor. That'd be cool. But I don't have gold.
Okay, well then you're not getting any armor if you don't have the gold for it.
I'm sad.
Well, I mean, Victor doesn't need armor. He has hopes and dreams.
True.
I don't even have those.
I could spot you some cash.
If it's for your protection, I have no qualms with parting with some of my gold.
Yes, I would not like a repeat of what happened with 10. I appreciate it. And I'd rather not have my grandmother know I'm going in somewhere where I need armor. Again.
Right. Well, let's go pick something out, shall we?
Sure.
Well, I'll be waiting in the front.
Okay.
I'd have pissed her off.
So, see if I can do this without speaking or unvex it. I'm just gonna. So, in the essence of time, I'll describe to you what armor currently exists in the magic shop that you guys usually frequent in town. It does have a few different armor, ranging from common all the way up to actual sets of what is considered. So, for our common armor, she has a set of light armor known as Shadow Thread Leather, and she has a set of medium armor, which is a Gleaming Chain Shirt. So, the Shadow Thread Leather armor is light armor. It grants a +1 bonus to AC as well as +1 bonus to stealth checks while worn. The Gleaming Chain Shirt is medium armor. It gives you a +1 bonus to AC, and as a caveat, this armor never gets dirty. It's always appearing polished and shiny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for descriptions, the Shadow Thread armor, made from tightly woven shadow-infused fibers, seems to blend into the darkness, making it slightly hard to make out in dark areas. The Gleaming Chain Shirt is a simple yet finely crafted chain shirt that radiates this constant gleam, even in the absence of light. Despite its clean appearance, it offers very minimal additional protection beyond what's expected. So it's a +1 chain shirt. Never dirty. For uncommon rarity, there is the Windweaver armor. Light armor has no bonus to its AC, but when you dash, you can move an additional 10 feet. Also grants you advantage on saving throws against being knocked prone, and it's crafted from fine, lightweight materials. It catches the wind like a bird in flight, making the wearer more nimble and swift. Then there is the Ember Glow Studded Leather. It grants resistance to fire damage. The studded leather armor is dark brown with a faint orange veins running through it. When exposed to fire, the veins glow like molten embers. offering protection against the flames themselves. There are then the Warden's Vestments. These grant a +1 to AC, as well as advantage on perception checks. Woven with strands of enchanted silver thread, this vest subtly sharpens the wearer's sense, allowing them to detect even the faintest movements or sounds. For rare, we have the Mantle of the Night Stalker. While in dim light or darkness, you gain a but you always have a +1 bonus to AC, and then while in dim light or darkness, you gain advantage on stealth checks. This dark flowing armor seems to drink in the surrounding shadows. It's favored by thieves who strike under the cover of night. Then you have the Stormguard Scale Mail. Once per long rest, you can use a reaction to impose disadvantage on an attack made against you by a creature within 10 feet. This happens, the attacker is struck with a burst of static energy, taking 1d6 lightning damage. This shimmering blue-green scale mail is embedded with tiny conductive crystals, crackle with electricity when threatened. And then there is a set of Sunleaf armor, +2 bonus to AC, and then you are not affected by difficult terrain in natural areas such as forests and grasslands. This armor is woven from the leaves and bark of ancient magically forced to provide protection. It's favored by rangers and druids who traverse the wilds of the Kingdom of Melja. Very rare, we have the Armor of the Ethereal Step. Once per long rest, you can cast Etherealness on yourself for 1 minute. The silvery armor shimmers faintly as though it is partially out of phase with the material plane. When activated, it allows the wearer to walk through solid objects and the physical and ethereal realms. There is the Tempest Ward Breastplate. Grants resistance to thunder and lightning damage. Additionally, you can use reaction to reduce the damage from thunder or lightning spell by half if it targets you. This beautifully crafted breastplate has swirling designs resembling storm clouds, and when exposed to lightning or thunder's energy, it hums with a resonating power. Then there is the Ghost Walker Hide. This grants a +1 bonus to AC. Additionally, you can use a bonus action to become invisible until the start of your next turn. This ability can be used 3 times per long rest. This molded gray and black hide armor is nearly weightless, and when worn, it muffles even the wearer's heartbeat. Perfect for those who need to move unseen and unheard. And then finally, the legendary. There is Radiant Dawn Scale armor. Grants +3 bonus to AC. Once per long rest, as an action, you can cause the armor to emit a blinding light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet for 1 minute. All hostile creatures within the bright light must make a Constitution saving throw or be blinded until the next turn. This golden scaled armor glows with a constant warm light, and when activated, it shines like the sun itself, banishing darkness, both normal and magical, striking fear into the creatures of evil. There is then the Veil of the Moon Shadow. Grants +2 bonus to AC. Additionally, you can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. You can see when you are targeted by an attack. This ability recharges after a short or long rest. This midnight blue armor is said to have been woven from the threads of moonlight and shadow. It allows its wearer to slip between the folds of reality, becoming an untouchable specter in combat. And then there is the Armor of the Eternal Sentinel. This grants a +3 bonus to AC. You gain immunity to being frightened and can't be surprised. Additionally, when an ally within 10 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can use your reaction to swap places with them, taking the damage instead. This ancient armor is adorned with the symbol of a vigilant eye. It is said that the armor never sleeps, constantly alert to danger, and it allows its wearer to act as the ultimate protector, guarding those who fight by their side. Do any of those interest you?
Probably just like the scale mail one.
Oh, you could have stopped me back then.
You just kept talking.
You should have just interrupted me.
Never.
So, the Stormguard Scale Mail?
Sure. How much is that?
Oh, Stormguard Scale Mail, that is going to run you 800 gold pieces.
Hey, what's our budget looking like?
Platinum's 10 gold pieces a piece, right?
Yes, indeed.
I could technically afford it.
You all.
Jesus Christ, you and your
Oh,
scale
that's the wrong
mail.
sheet.
Is he even gonna be able to wear that shit?
I don't think so. Scale heavy or medium?
It's medium.
Other than that, maybe just like one of the commons.
Well, when it comes
For the common, you have the shadow thread leather and the gleaming chain shirt.
Oh, I fucking give Victor 80 platinum pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm just getting the scale mail.
Alrighty. Cool. Let's get you some scale mail. Where is our chat? There it is. Boop. Description. Effect. That right there. There you go. You got some magical armor.
Yay.
Actually, I'll. Okay. So, anything else you guys need to get or prepare before the end of the day?
How much food reserves do we currently have?
I mean, you guys probably have like a few rations, but I wouldn't say that you guys haven't had to stock up for a journey in a bit, so it might be a good idea to get some rations. So you have people who are proficient in hunting and skinning and that stuff. Might not be as necessary.
I just eat whatever.
Yeah, Uzmir could eat
Like
rocks.
bodies.
Yeah, so when you guys all wither and die from starvation, Uzmir will have no problem decomposing your body.
Yeah,
Yep.
see?
Yep, and it will become us.
So,
Nice of you to provide me sustenance.
I will say if you guys want to get rations for like a few weeks, it'll be like 10 gold for all of you. 10 gold total to feed all of you for a few weeks on rations. Remember, rations is like nuts, berries, dried meat. It's not like the most fulfilling of meals, but it gives you the nutrients that you require to keep on going.
Yeah, I'll subtract some 10 gold. There you go. Everybody's got rations.
There you go. Everyone's got rations. Anything else?
No.
Healing potion.
Yeah, healing potion, especially for Riven.
Okay. I will say at the magic shop, you guys would be able to procure your choice of. There are 4 normal healing potions. There are 2 greater, and there is 1 superior. Are all those?
How much would it be?
So normal healing
Hello.
potions are 50 gold pieces apiece. Greater healing potions are here. Greater potions are 150 gold pieces apiece, and superiors are 500 gold pieces.
Give me all them.
Well, that would be 50, 100, 200, 200, 350, 350, 850 gold pieces.
Give me all them.
All right. That's 4 basic, 2 greater, 1 superior.
Barbara's gonna stockpile them.
Always having to save your ass.
That is true.
Anything else?
Would we be able to retcon the conversation with the grandmother for next session? I don't think this can go too much longer.
Nope. What are you trying to explain to your grandmother?
It's mostly just like the whole thing, like we were talking about, like, funding in the event that we like, or in the whole funding thing.
Okay. She is upset that you made this deal without her consent, but also slightly proud that you were able to make a deal in the first place because she didn't really have too many high hopes for you.
Oh, fucking
And
goddamn.
Oof.
is wondering why you made this deal. Do you tell her that there is a secret flying airship and you're heading to the theocracy?
Wait, I wouldn't tell her I'm going anywhere.
Did you tell her about the situation and all?
Yeah, we tell about the situation. I wouldn't lie to her. Like,
Okay.
she
Cool.
would know me like that.
She tells you, well, the theocracy is dangerous. I'd prefer you not go. And you explain that you're not going. And then can you roll a deception check for me real quick?
Sure, still have advantage.
Grandma calls you a fat liar.
Oof.
Grandma knows when boys lie.
Shut the fuck up.
She
Grandma,
has,
bitch.
she
Oh,
has a
goddamn.
23.
Motherfucker.
So she says, don't lie to me. I raised you better than that. And then tells you to be safe, gives you a kiss on the forehead, and then gives you this platinum bracer looking thing.
Dope.
Huh?
I said dope, sorry.
Yeah. Which I will have to pull up in my notes. The bracer itself has the insignia of the Braun Trading Company on it. So I'll go over with you what it's about here after this.
Okay.
But she told you to be safe and come back in one piece. Did you go by yourself or did you bring the party with you?
If they wanted to come, they could, but like I pretty much just went by myself if they didn't want to come with.
Okay, 10-4. So you get that stuff with your grandmother finished. Anyone else?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Riven,
mean-
Riven just said like probably he's gonna just say like goodbye to Jansor before he leaves, but that's it.
As you guys are walking through the city streets, you have all your belongings with you. Sidestepping up and saddling up next to you guys and to your group is a familiar figure. Porcelain mask, black coated. Jack. Right, so you've all found a method of travel.
Teleportation gate.
Not what he said.
Teleportation gate. Are you trying to deceive Jack at this point?
No, more just talking out of my ass.
Oh, okay. You guys have a playing card that transmits your audio.
Yeah, no, I'm just. I know, but he was acting
Right.
pompous, so I was being a douche.
I gotcha. Well, I hope you will make it safe, and then if you need anything, you'll be too far away for me to help. So I wish you well on your journey, and I hope to see you all come back safely. If you run into any of our operatives there, show them the playing card that you have of mine, and that should get you out of any distinctive trouble, the Brotherhood and that area. Though that is not exactly it's not my facet of the Brotherhood that operates up there, so be careful regardless.
All right, we're always careful.
Oh, you're fucking not.
Well, we
Well.
try to be careful.
As Jack takes his
Wait, before that, who has the card? Who's holding it?
Mavra.
Oh wait.
Me.
Oh, Mavra, are you keeping all the potions to yourself?
I'll give one of the basic ones to everybody.
Okay, so Uzmir, Wolfriend, Riven, Victor put a basic healing potion on the character sheet, and then Mavra's keeping a hold of the graders, and the...
I still have a leftover Supreme.
So,
Hold on, I get a basic.
yep.
Cool. Oh, I still have 2 graders.
We're just hoarding all the healing potions for the big battle.
Nope, we're just hoarding them. And then we're gonna be sitting on a huge stockpile when the campaign's done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How is that true? I think it's maybe like I'm the only one that's ever using them, and I'm always using them on Riven.
I mean, Riven used all of his for obvious reasons.
So, nothing else you guys need to get handle.
Nope.
Still, as the party approaches, Warren Vex is there to meet you. The warehouse, you can see the ceiling of the warehouse has actually been propped open with these mechanical arms. The Zephyr's Call, its sleek form gleaming faintly under the twin light of the moon above. The soft silvery white glow of Umbra casting long pale shadows across the landing platform, while Lumina, her crimson and brooding color, paint the edges of those shadows with hints of red. The ship hovers silently a few feet above the ground, its wings extended like those of a bird poised to take flight. The Aether crystals, the hull pulsing gently, casting ripples of light across the smooth ground as they come with stored power. The runes etched into the vessel's sides shimmer, pulsing ever so slightly before whirring and intensifying. As you all climb, softly stepping the deck of Zephyr, the entire city of El Makath sprawls out below you. Labyrinth of distinct grand towers and ancient domes. The city is a sea of flickering lights, street lanterns glowing faintly in the distance, last embers of hearth fires burning out in shuttered homes, the occasional flash of arcane energy as patrols of the watch and Aether lights throughout the city kind of flash. This vantage point, the city feels both vast and small and fragile, its maze-like designs held in a delicate balance. High above, 2 moons hang like twin sentinels in the velvet sky, refracting their light off the countless domes and towers of El Makath. With a low rumble, the Zephyr's Call begins to rise higher and higher, its aether crystals flaring to life as streams of energy arc along the runes on its hull. The sails catch the subtle winds generated by the ship's motion, filling out like ghostly wings as the vessel gains altitude. Ground falls away further and further beneath you. Soon, the entire city of El Makath is laid out like a tapestry beneath the glow of the moons and the errant runic glow of the Zephyr's Call. As it ascends higher, the noise of the streets fade, replaced by the rhythmic beat of the etheric energies humming through the ship that now carries you. The wind carries mingled scents of the night air, cool and crisp and tinged with distant smells of spice. The city markets. The city seems more peaceful from this vantage point, its chaotic streets softened by distance, mysteries veiled by beneath a layer of moonlit mist. As the city gradually shrinks away, leaving only the vast expanse of the night sky, the freedom of open air, you hear Oren yell, "I'd hold on if I were you. We're about to start picking up speed, and it'll take a minute for it to settle and for you to get your bearings. Please, Look to the sides of the ship. You can see on the railing there are ropes. If you could please attach those to yourself.
I am having second thoughts about this right now.
You guys attach yourselves to the ship's railing.
Yep.
Yes. This is a bad idea.
Hey. With a final surge of energy, the Zephyr's Call soars into the night, leaving the world below behind. You guys feel the wind rushing past you as the ship is in an upward tilt. You slide a bit, but fasten yourselves with the ropes onto the railing. And there's this errant low hum that just gets louder and louder and louder, and you can feel it in your chest. Oh. Oh. As you guys have finished your ascent, things begin to settle. The ropes kind of go soft, and you kind of have gained your bearing. And though you can tell the ship is moving quickly, it's less noticeable now as you guys have reached a cruising height and speed. You see Oren start making his way out onto the deck where you all are. Well, where are we going exactly? I know you said the theocracy, but are we heading to the northern part, or are we heading towards the mountains? Where are we needing to drop you all off at?
Wolfront. Ezra just looks at Wolfront.
Where's the map? Where's the map? Where is it?
It's in
There it
World
is.
Anvil.
Yes. We were in.
Just left Elmacath.
We just left El Macath. We need to. The wolves were headed towards. Or they were in. Was it Hearthstone?
Where the wolves died?
Yeah.
Up by Walden. The
Oh,
far north.
That's right.
The Ebon Fang, the keep of the Ebon Fang is in the Hushed Oaks on the south side of Lad. And from what you guys learned of the Iron Brand, Captain Cedric Ellaway is one of their higher ranking members, and he operates out of Allcourt Keep. So there's a few areas where would be where you want to land. I don't know exactly. Are you just wanting to pick up where you know that your Black Wolves were last, which Walden, or where are you wanting to go?
Actually, it might be good to check in with the keep first.
Okay.
So, Langstad.
Right, we should be able to get there 2.5, 3 days, hopefully, as long as the winds are kind to us. And as he says that, there's this unsettling rippling of Aether throughout the deck. It kind of hits you all for a second and almost knocks you against the railing. And the low hum of the Aether engine begins to faintly crackle. Low buzz that hums at the edge of your hearing soon begins to swell into a deafening roar. You all feel it at once as Orin goes, "That's not good! Quick, everybody!" And as it becomes deafening, you all feel it just unanimously all at once, a sudden pressure in your chests through the very fabric of your beings, being pulled taut, almost ready to snap. The area around you begins to darken, swirling with this charged electricity begins to lace around the ship. Heavens no. This violet and crimson electricity, air grows thick, electric, charged with untamed aether. Before you all can react, the world around you explodes in a flash of light, bright, blinding, and all-consuming. The Aether surges wildly, tearing through the magical bonds of the ship and your beings. A vortex of chaotic energy engulfs you all, ripping apart the ship beneath you as you feel yourselves plummeting. Your companions, you can barely make out their faces twisted in cries. The surge spirals out of control. Your yells and screams are lost in the deafening rush of wind and energy. Your vision, all of you, fracturing into shards of colors and light. Weightless, tossing dark void, hurling through a maelstrom of fractured images and colors, echoes of distant voices, friends, your families, enemies, and distorted images flickering and fading, offering glimpses of places both familiar and foreign. In one moment, you're suspended over a vast glowing forest, bathed in silver light, and the next you're sinking beneath roiling seas of shadows and flames. Stations are disorienting, terrifying, like being unmoored from everything you know. And suddenly, the pull on you all intensifies, drawing you towards some unseen force. The sensation of being ripped away is overwhelming, as if the Aether itself is racing through you, ripping through your veins. You feel yourselves being pulled different directions, further and further away. Last thing you see is the desperate, fleeting glances of your allies disappearing into this swirling void. Light fades, replaced by darkness. You all feel yourselves alone as the world begins to solidify, reassert itself with a jarring thud. Wolfriend, as the Aether surge releases its grip on you, you find yourself slammed into the ground amidst an icy wasteland. Howling wind bites at your exposed skin, and every breath is a struggle against the freezing cold. Looking around, in every direction, a vast expanse of snow and ice, broken only by jagged cliffs and looming glaciers in the distance. A silhouette of towering mountains pierce the pale sky, their peaks lost in swirling snowstorms. The only sound is the relentless wail of the wind and the crunch of snow beneath your boots as you begin to stand. Your allies nowhere in sight. Your breath visible in the frigid air, and the icy chill seeping through even the thickest furs.
I'll just call out.
Riven? Avra? Victor? Anyone?
No response.
Hans,
I'll bundle up a little tighter. The cold isn't bothering me too terribly much, but it's still very cold. Is there... So, what? I'm just in the middle of nowhere? Is there...
like, you don't recognize the area. It looks similar to how the Ardent Fields on the northern part of the Theocracy look, but if you were in the Ardent Fields, the mountains wouldn't be where they are right now that you see in the distance. They would be to the south, not the north. This is an unknown location to you. As you bundle, are you heading towards the mountains? Are you heading east, west, south? What's your bearing?
I'm just gonna head towards the highest spot I can see, and just go from there.
As you head towards larger, jagged cliff sides, move on. Uzmir. Dropping.
Yeah.
Feel Around you, coarse sand, a furnace-like environment, the relentless sun now beating down on you, a vast, unforgiving desert. Scorching sand stretching as far as you can see, with massive dunes rising and falling like the ocean's waves. The air shimmers with heat, distorting the horizon as jagged rocks and parched earth occasionally break the monotony of the landscape. In the distance, mirages flicker, teasing glimpses of water that evaporate as quickly as they appear. The wind carries with it the sting of sand against your face. This arid desert seems to absorb all sound, leaving only an eerie silence, a brief whisper of wind. In the distance, you hear a loud hum start to appear. Can you make a perception check for me?
Yes. Oh, wrong tab. Perception. $27. Oh, I accidentally did it to GM. My bad.
7. In the distance, from where this humming is coming from, you see 4 silhouetted beasts? No, machines almost. These scrap metal creatures that are roaring through the sand. Not sure if they're coming towards you or just passing on the horizon. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to kind of slink back a little bit, see if there's anywhere to kind of hide to at least figure out what it is first.
Yeah, you do see some a small area where some jagged rocks have breached through the sand. You might be able to hide in the shade beneath them.
Yeah.
You begin heading that way, trying to not draw too much attention to yourself, Victor. You feel yourself hit something hard and then fall even further as you have the breath knocked out of you, hitting what seems to be a branch of some sort before hitting soft, damp ground. As your vision clears, you find yourself amidst towering trees and dense, dripping foliage. The air is thick with humidity, and the scent of damp earth and decaying vegetation fills your nostrils. Constant drizzle falls from the canopy above, making the ground slippery and treacherous. This jungle found yourself in is alive with the sound of chirping insects and distant roars. The rustle of leaves as unseen creatures move through the underbrush, massive ferns, twisted vines, and the vibrant but deadly flora in this area block most paths that you can see, creating this claustrophobic atmosphere. As you stand, your steps are accompanied by the squelch of mud. This rainforest is perilous, that much is apparent. Every shadow, a threat, every bright flower, a deadly trap. What are you doing, Victor?
Gonna first ready myself, grab my bow, my crossbow, and find an area where I can catch my breath and maybe get my bearings.
Okay, roll a survival check.
Survival check it is. I'm not surviving.
You are looking, but this is unknown territory. As you move through, being ever so cautious not to draw too much attention to yourself and observe your surroundings. On to Mavra. Mavra, your landing is abrupt. The world spinning as you suddenly find yourself in a serene courtyard surrounded by ornate wooden buildings with curved tiled roofs. Cherry blossoms fall gently from ancient trees, drifting like snowflakes in a breeze. Lanterns swaying gently in the wind, casting a warm glow that dances across the polished stone pathways. The air is scented with incense, and the distant sound of a flute echoes, creating an almost otherworldly calmness. but beneath this peaceful facade lies tension, unknowing of where you are, as if the courtyard itself is holding its breath. The architecture, the meticulous gardens, and the tranquil ambiance speak of a place you are unsure of. And you see 8 figures, spears pointed at you. What are you doing, Mavra? Mavra's still in
He's
the
the big
world
sleep.
of the living. Okay.
He muted.
Mavra. Okay. So,
What?
There she is.
There she
did
is.
you hear anything I said?
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. You ready?
I was blowing my nose. I'm sorry.
You ready?
What's up?
Your landing is very abrupt. The world spinning as you suddenly find yourself in a serene courtyard, surrounded by ornate wooden buildings with curved tiled roofs, cherry blossoms falling gently from ancient trees, drifting like snow in the cool breeze, as lanterns sway gently in the wind, casting a warm glow that dances across polished stone pathways, an air scented with incense and distant sounds of a flute echoing, creating an almost otherworldly calmness. But beneath this peaceful facade lies a tension and unknowing of your current standing and area that you find yourself in. The architecture, the meticulous gardens, and the tranquil ambiance speak of a world unknown to you, and there are currently 8 figures with spears pointed at you.
Uh-oh.
Doing
Raising my hands to show that I'm not a threat.
from a nearby building, you see a shadowed figure kind of coming out, and you hear in a familiar voice, Avra? As you see Shiro.
Okay, I'm gonna wave enthusiastically at Shiro. Hi, Shiro!
Please put down your spears. As the 8 figures do so, he begins approaching you, reaching out his hand to help you off the ground. Riven, you regain your bearings, find yourself lying in the dirt, cracked dry earth underneath you. You rise, you see familiar sight. Sprawling port city of El Macath. Few miles down the road. Towers glinting in the moonlight. City is bustling. See ships moving in and out of the port, smoke rising from chimneys. Your friends nowhere in sight. The wreckage of the flying vessel scattered about you. Your ears ringing as you feel the grasp of somebody against your shoulders. Riven! It is not good. Something happened.
What?
The voice kind of coming in and out of focus of Professor Oren Vex, who's pretty beat up. It looks like one of his arms is broken.
Where are my friends? Ah, my head. What? I thought you said it wouldn't go boom.
I said that was the plan. Something must have gone wrong. I've taken her from many test flights. We didn't even make it that far. I don't know where everyone else is. We need to search the wreckage. Please, get up. Help me.
Everyone. Mavra. Wolfram. And Riven immediately just starts, like, even without the pain and everything, he's just gonna just stand up and immediately just look around, see if he can find anything. Like just like in a big like desperate, almost like pleading, like as he tries to like just to scourge the wreckage.
As Riven and Professor Orin begin digging through the wreckage of the Zephyr's Call. Maybe on familiar ground, but something is definitely different. Separated from your allies. By yourself for the first time in a long time. City of El Macath and the red flow cascading over wreckage. That's where we'll end for tonight. Thanks, everybody. We will be back next Saturday. Love you all. Bye.
Uh,
Vinny.